The super committee has finally been announced. Both the Republicans and Democrats have put out the 12 people involved. And we're going to do something fun here. We're going to judge whether they are guilty or not guilty. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean much. We're having fun. But I'll tell you roughly what it means. Look, there are two possible outcomes here, if you ask me. One is that the Republicans are going to not budge on taxes at all, and all we're going to have is cuts and entitlements. That's a disaster. The other possibility is the so-called grand bargain, where the grand bargain is, yes, we get some defense cuts. Yes, we get some loopholes and subsidies taken away, which increases taxes, but they cut Social Security, they cut Medicare, and they cut taxes on the rich and on corporations. So you pay higher taxes because you lose things like home mortgage deductions, but the rich pay less taxes. Now, that is also a disaster. I've told you before, there are no other options. There's no way in the world the progressives are going to win. It's not like there's going to be cuts in defense and no cuts in entitlements and just tax increases, but no tax cuts. It is not possible. I wish it were, and you should fight to the end to make sure that none of this happens. The other possibility, they say, is that they could have a stalemate and they don't reach an agreement, in which case there's only half cuts to spending and entitlements and half cuts to defense. That actually would probably be, unfortunately, in this horrible context, the best of the options that are out there. But there will be no stalemate because the Democrats will definitely agree with the Republicans. Take it to the bank. First of all, let's look at the Republicans on the committee. Mitch McConnell has appointed Jon Kyl of Arizona. He is the number 2 person in the GOP in the Senate, and he will definitely vote the party line, and the party line has already been announced as absolutely no tax increase whatsoever. Jon Kyl, guilty. All right. Second person is Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. He's a Republican senator, obviously. He's a freshman. He's very conservative. He's the reason Arnold Specter switched out of the Republican Party to fight him as a Democrat. Pat Toomey will definitely vote the party line, guilty. Rob Portman, well, you know, he's a freshman senator. He's got less of a track record. They say that perhaps Rob Portman could be more moderate. What would be moderate? He would sign on to the grand bargain. That's terrible anyway. Guilty. Now we go to the House side of the Republicans, and that's, of course, Boehner, appointing 3 different people. And here are the people that he appointed. Jeb Hanserling of Texas, deeply conservative, will definitely do whatever Boehner tells him to do. Guilty. Now we move on to 2 other guys. Dave Camp from Michigan. Well, Dave Camp is a guy who in the past has disagreed with some of the leadership. Does that mean he's not conservative? Of course he's conservative. Every single one of these guys has signed a pledge to say that they will never raise taxes a dime. Guilty. Fred Upton, also from Michigan, is the last member from the Republican side. He is the guy that has switched a lot of his positions after getting a lot of funding from Koch Industries, now that he's the head of an important energy committee. You think Koch Industries is going to allow this guy to raise taxes? No way. Guilty. Now, when you go over to the Democratic side, now these are the guys who are supposed to stand up for us. Laugh along with me. All right, let's start with on the Senate side. Max Baucus has been named to the committee, so it's already over. Guilty. He will definitely betray progressives. He will definitely vote to cut entitlements. And my guess is he will actually vote to cut taxes on the rich. He will join the Republicans in whatever bargain that they reach. So all they need is one Democrat. It's already over. But let's look at the other Democrats anyway. John Kerry is on the committee. Obviously ran for president for the Democrats. You would think that he's going to stand up for progressive priorities. I'm not sure of that. He might go along with the grand bargain, but I'm going to say for the moment being, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, which I'm being very generous here, and say not guilty for now. Let's see how it turns out. Patty Murray from Washington, part of the leadership among the Democrats. She is more progressive than the other 2, in my opinion, although her and Kerry are close. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and later regret it. Not guilty. Okay, am I not merciful? Now we go to the House side. These were the last people that came in. Nancy Pelosi put 3 people on the committee herself. We start with James Clyburn of South Carolina. He is the person who will do whatever the president says. Now, there's a lot of people in the Black Caucus in the House who are livid with the president. John Conyers, even Cleaver is upset, even though he supported the president throughout. Clyburn is the one guy in the House that is the most steady vote for the president. He will definitely vote for the grand bargain, which is what President Obama wants, which will cut taxes on the rich and cut your entitlements. Guilty. Watch it. If I'm wrong, you come back and you tell me, okay? He will vote whichever way Obama tells him, and Obama will definitely want a deal with the Republicans, which is disastrous, what they call the grand bargain. Now, when you go next to Chris Van Hollen is part of the leadership, number 3 person in the House for the Democrats. He'll go with the party line. The party line, according to Obama White House, will be strike the deal with the Republicans. Guilty. And finally, Javier Becerra from California. He has fought for progressives in the past. I am also going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say not guilty. Now, I think I'm being incredibly generous here and saying there are possible 3 votes that won't go along with the plan to rob us. That is our best case scenario. Am I telling you those 3 are definitely going to vote on our side and vote against a plan that does all these terrible things that I explained? I wouldn't take it to the bank, but let's see how it turns out. That's my best guess as to how it might unfold.